Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect. So we just cleared up this excavation site where the unfortunate team of researchers had been turned into husks. But we're not quite done. We're almost done with this entire sector, I guess, or nebula or whatever. Cluster? I don't know. I'm actually not sure what the correct term there is, but we do have at least 2 more points of interest to check on this particular planet. We have not found any unmarked resource deposits. Why do I always want to say resource? I don't know why. Resource deposits on this planet. So I'm still hoping to run into at least one. But we do have an anomaly over here. Somewhere. I guess it must still be a little bit ahead. It's almost in the very corner of this area. Don't think I've ever seen any object this close to... What's all that? This close to the border of the map. Transmitter tower. Okay. Deactivate. Okay, discovery. This device is transmitting tight beam signals into geosynchronous orbit. This disrupts the survey team's GPS satellites, causing them to crash near... disrupted, I guess, the survey team's GPS satellites, causing them to crash nearby. Huh.
All targets down.
So someone caused their... Wait. No, the research teams? The research team was here on purpose. Or is this a different team? I don't know. Is this talking about something else? Not quite sure how that relates to anything. I mean, the research team we fought, right? The one turned into husks. They didn't crash here, did they? Let me just read that again real quick. Wait. Message, old friends. It's down here now, right? Because I completed it. Missing survey team. Something transformed the research into machine cultists, yes. Fanatics worship alien technology. Right. Travel to the Intesa. Look for the missing survey team. Okay. I mean, a survey team? Research team? That's not quite precise in what exactly they were here for. Strange. At any rate, it doesn't seem like... Whoa. It doesn't seem like there's anything else to be done here, unfortunately. No loot. Lame. Also, no experience or anything for disabling that thing, I think. Oh god. Let's get out of this mountainous region here. Wait, why is... I guess Garrus is not dead. He's just almost dead. Didn't he heal when he got up after being taken down earlier? I don't know. I only just realized that his health bar is non-existent. Oh, and there's something hostile by that debris. Several hostiles, so not Thresher Maw, I would say. Oh, camera, please. What are you guys? Oh, that's just scavengers, okay? Shouldn't be too much of a problem. In fact, you are already dealt with. Oh, and my Mako is now completely healed. What? How did that happen? When did that happen? That's so strange. Well, I'm not complaining, I'm just don't really understand what's going on here. Wow, this is Superficially... Oh god. That's bad. Actually. Nope. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this one. 25 Omnigel? Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm hardly ever using any. And there is a lot of stuff that I could turn into gel. High Explosive Upgrade 4 might be better than what we're using. Combat Scanner 4 is definitely better than the one I'm using. And Tungsten Rounds 5. Not entirely sure. I had those before. Interesting. Oh, and we got a level 5 shotgun. Actually, all shotguns. Well, if they were all using shotguns, that explains why they didn't deal any damage at the distance. Okay, what did we have? Grenade upgrade. Right, yeah, that's just better. Sure. Sniper rifle. Actually, what did we find? God. Right, the radar thing. That's combat scanner. Oh, yeah. Okay. Again, it's apparently level 4 is just called something different, in addition to having a higher number. So yeah, let's equip that and hope it does its job, just like that. And tungsten rounds, level 5. Oh, that's the upgraded armor piercing. Gotcha. Yeah, again, situational, so I'm not going to equip that as a default quite yet. Although I wonder if the weapons force. I guess my weapons. My guess was that, or still is, that weapons force makes it more likely to knock enemies over with a shot, maybe, or. Because I think I've seen that happen in the past, when I'm not actually just killing them outright. I guess I could. I would be okay with. Replacing that with something that sounds more immediately useful. I don't know. I guess I could switch between the tungsten and shredder rounds. But yeah. I guess I could just pick one and it would, you know, help 50% of the time. I don't know what jobs are there actually left to do. Got all these collection things, of course. They're just going to happen along the way. We got the Cerberus one from Kahoku. I could look into this hostile takeover, or we could actually finish off the second crime lord first. Now that we've started this quest inadvertently. This one I'm probably going to do just to get it out of the quest log when I'm back in the Citadel next time. Collection, more collection. This guy, who knows? And these are probably DLC related. But I mean, I do have the quests. Like I got them basically as soon as I entered the Citadel, right? So I can probably just do them whenever I want to. I don't know if I want to tackle them before I do more of the main missions. We'll see. But next is probably going to be this. So, right, Gemini Sigma cluster. Gemini Sigma. Right. So that's where I'm going to go next. That also means the reason I looked that up basically was because wait, what? Assault rifle. Where? Why is there nothing in my assault rifle? What? Didn't I slot that? I could have sworn I did. I certainly did for my companions. Yeah. Huh. Did I actually forget? Oh, wait. No. My reasoning was I'm never actually going to use an assault rifle or a shotgun. Derp. Right. So let's do this again and actually use the shredder rounds, because it seems like I'm about to fight some more criminals, and those definitely count as organics, unless they're a criminal geth. Right. So we checked. I guess I was never really in this lower left corner, so there might be some minerals there. I'm going to pause recording again and take a look at that area real quick, well, as quick as the game allows me, and yeah, we'll see what I find. Alright, so I didn't find anything more on that planet, unfortunately, even after driving around for a while, so I'm back on board. I figured I'd talk to people and see if they had anything new to say. And I think this is new. I asked Caden for personal input again. So the crew know about the stonewalling I've had from the council. I see.
What do they think?
They're on your side. They're pissed about the resistance we're getting, especially from our side. I'll have a better handle on all of it when my head stops hurting. Another L2 flare-up.
Oh. Retrofit to L3s. I have no idea about that, so I don't know.
Anything I can do?
No, Commander, it'll settle down. It's rough sometimes, but they spike higher than a lot of L3s. Except for you, of course. Besides, I fared a lot better than some after Kinetics was through.
Kinetics,
I haven't
okay,
heard
let's just
anything
pretend I
about
know what
Kinetics
I'm
in a
talking
while.
about here.
Yeah, they quietly disappeared. Broke up into a bunch of little corps after they botched the training on Jump Zero. After first contact, Kinetics was set up to track Element Zero exposures and develop implants for humans. Once we had an embassy on the Citadel, Kinetics could bring in experts instead of taking it slow.
The only experts would have to be aliens.
Dead on. Turians, actually. That's why Kinetics kept it a secret. They were afraid of what people back home would think, asking the Turians for help when we just fought a war with them.
The Asari would have been more acceptable than the Turians.
Yes, but the company didn't go through the Citadel. It would have made Earth look weak, so they discreetly hired some Turian mercenaries.
Why not? That's still the same question.
The Asari would have been more acceptable than the Turians.
Yes, it
But
is.
the company
Okay.
didn't go
That's
through the Citadel. It would have made
interesting.
Earth look weak, so they discreetly hired some
Yeah.
Turian.
Is there some reason we couldn't learn it on our own?
They didn't know where to start. Hell, it took a couple of years to even link biotics and Ezo. Forget trying to get the kids to move stuff. They had trouble just helping them not break their own limbs. And their choice of teachers didn't help much.
Did they mean well? I don't know. You do what you have to. What exactly am I referring to again?
I'm sure Kinetics did what they thought was best.
It wasn't best for us. They brought in an ex-military Turian named Commander Vernus. A real hard-ass. He basically had a free pass to break us if it would turn out a decent biotic. Kind of spiraled from there, Commander.
Did he ever face charges for that?
He got his, yeah. But like everything else at Jump Zero, it was under the table. The less said, the better.
Of course.
Anyway, this is ancient stuff. I walked it off a long time ago. I should get back to my duties.
I mean, you're still feeling the
Make
consequences,
history,
though.
not rehash it.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Dr.
Oh,
Tassoni.
okay. Yeah, I was thinking
Sounds
that
like a sweet-
that's probably
I mean, if you like the bookish sort.
right. That's probably always going to refer to the last major mission and not every single side quest. So that's why I haven't returned to talk to him
We'll talk another
after
time.
every single little bit that we did. But he did have something new to say, just after, I don't know, what caused that. Passage of time, gaining levels, I don't know. Certainly not actually using him in my team.
I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
That's natural, because, I mean, why else would I have come to this back room here? Yeah, sure.
Maybe we could pick up where we left off. You were telling me about your interest in the Protheans.
Actually, I think I was talking about my interest in you,
Right.
and making a fool of myself in the process. As I said, I am not used to dealing with people, especially humans. I did not really know much about your species when we first met, Shepard. I found it hard to take humanity seriously. Your kind always seemed so rushed and high-strung.
Well, I mean, rushed, yeah, we are short-lived compared to your species, so... It's not insulting. I can understand it.
But we don't have the luxury of time. An Asari can live for 1,000 years. We're lucky if we hit 150.
Huh, well, that's
That is
pretty
true.
old.
At first I thought that was a weakness of your species. After spending time with you and your crew, however, I think it may actually be an advantage.
I mean...
You humans are creatures of action. You pursue your goals with an almost indomitable determination. It is an admirable trait, but also an intimidating one.
it works for us. I mean, we don't really have much of a choice there.
You can't argue with results.
No, but there are consequences. Unfortunately, the rest of the galaxy sees humanity as a bully.
Yeah,
You run
I
over
can see
anyone
why.
who gets in your way. It is up to people like you to change their minds, Shepard.
Well, am I trying to change the entire galaxy's perception of humanity? That's a bit much for one person to shoulder.
I'm doing the best I can, Liara.
Yeah.
There is a reason the Council chose you to become a Spectre. They saw something special in you. The best of what humanity has to offer. I looked into your history. I know what happened on Akuz. The fact that you survived shows a remarkable strength.
You looked that up?
Why are you so interested in me?
I mean,
I wanted to know
she
more
told
about
us
you.
already.
To understand what made you into the man you are. There is something compelling about you, Shepard.
Oh. I want to believe that? Do I?
Are you sure you're interested in me? Or is it my visions of the Protheans?
I admit, your connection to the Protheans had something to do with my initial interest, but it has grown beyond that. You intrigue me, Shepard, but I was
Tell
not
me
sure
more.
if it was appropriate to act on my feelings. I thought there might already be a relationship between you and Chief Williams.
Chief Williams? Why would you say that? We've not spoken more than 2 words since we met Sony. You're an alien. Eh. I mean, there's really nothing between Shepard and Ashley.
Williams and I are just friends, nothing more.
I'm
My
not even
mistake,
sure
then.
we're friends.
I am not as adept at understanding human relationships as I thought. But what about us, Shepard? Is there a mutual attraction, or was I wrong about that too?
Well, I mean, I have to pick someone, right? That's how this works. Sure. I mean, I like her. For sure. Do I necessarily need to start a relationship with her? Not really, but sure.
No,
Why the heck?
You were right.
Why the heck not?
There is something between us.
I mean, now there
I
is.
knew it, and I knew you felt it too. But does this not seem rather strange? Why do I feel so close to you? We have only known each other a short time. We are from 2 different species. We have almost nothing in common. This makes no sense.
One thing in common. I mean, no, it doesn't have to. Of course not. I mean, how is this mutual attraction different from any other mutual attraction, right? I mean, yeah, I guess interspecies relationships haven't been super common probably since humanity has only been part of the galactic circus for a relatively short time, and much of that time has been, overshadowed by hostilities and mistrust. And it's only slowly beginning to change, I guess. I don't want to scold her too much, but
Quit
yeah.
thinking like a scientist. Logic doesn't work when it comes to relationships. Just let yourself get swept up in the storm.
Well, that's one way to put it.
You make it sound so chaotic, so dangerous.
You scared? That's why it's fun. I don't know.
I'll keep you safe.
I am not
Let's be
looking
the nice
for a
guy.
protector. This is all a bit overwhelming. I am not used to this. I need some time.
Sure.
Take all the time you need, Leo.
It's a lot to handle.
I'll be here.
Thank you, Shepard. Let's just talk about something else for now.
I wouldn't mind. But I don't think we have anything else, so...
I should go.
Right.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Oh, and we got a codex entry for that. Yay. Whoops. Codex... Council races? Asari religion, of all things. Okay. The pantheistic mainstream Asari religion is Siari, which translates roughly as all is one. The faithful agree on certain core truths. The universe is a consciousness, every life within it is an aspect of the greater whole, and death is a merging of one's spiritual energy back into the greater universal consciousness. Siarists don't specifically believe in reincarnation. They believe that spiritual energy returned to the universe to the universal consciousness upon death will eventually be used to fill new mortal vessels. Siari became popular after the Asari left their homeworld and discovered their ability to meld with nearly any form of life. This ability is seen as proof that all life is fundamentally similar. That makes a lot of sense. Siari priestesses see their role as promoting unity between the disparate shards of the universe's awareness. Before the rise of Siari pantheism, Asari religions were as diverse as their political opinions. The strongest survivor of those days is the monotheistic religion worshipping the goddess Athame. Like the Asari, the goddess cycles through the triple aspects of maiden, matron, and matriarch. Alright. I don't know why we got this specifically. Doesn't seem to have any specific connection to what we just talked about. But it's okay. So that's that for these two. I keep thinking that there might be something interesting to be found in here at some point. And there might, I guess. After the next major story milestone. We might find a bunch of new codex entries strewn about the Normandy. Oh, loading screen. I did, by the way, install a mod, as I indicated at one of the couple of last episodes, that makes basically all elevator rides in the game faster. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't come into effect here very much, but it should hopefully make a notable difference next time we're in the Citadel.
What do you want, Shepard?
Why did you become a mercenary?
Lots of reasons.
Such as?
Such as, I needed to get out of our system. I needed to eat. I needed to survive.
Makes sense.
Why not stay and help your people?
I tried to help. That's why I had to leave.
What happened?
I was betrayed.
Well, that sucks.
I was head of a small tribe. We were trying to restore order after the war, but the other tribes were against us. They followed Jared, one of the few warlords who survived the war with the Turians. But he was old, and so were his ideas. He wanted to continue the war. He wanted us to fight. Turians, Solarians, each other. It didn't matter who, as long as we were fighting.
That sounds not very helpful.
What did you want?
I just wanted Jared to shut up, to stop his ranting. I wanted him to stop leading the tribes astray. But he couldn't understand how much things had changed. We didn't have the numbers to go to war. Even if we did, the genophage made sure we couldn't replenish our numbers fast enough. I told them all to forget about war. We needed to focus on breeding, at least for one generation. And for a while, we were getting through. Some of the tribes started coming around.
I take it the warlord didn't appreciate that.
No, he didn't. He arranged a crush with the tribes, a meeting on neutral ground. He wanted to talk. We met at the Hollows, near the graves of our ancestors. The skulls of our dead laid bare to remind us where we come from and where we all go.
Nice.
It's as sacred as any Krogan place can be. Violence is forbidden.
It sounds like a trap to me. You must have suspected as much.
I did. But when your father invites you to a crush, well, there are some laws that even we hold sacred.
Jared was your father?
He was. Until that day. We talked, but we didn't get anywhere. When it was clear that I wouldn't join him, he gave the signal. His men leapt from the graves of our ancestors like Krogan undead. The few that were loyal to me died quickly. I escaped with my life, but not before I sank my dagger deep into my father's chest.
Well, at least that.
That is why I left, And that's why I'll never go back.
You must have family other than your father. Don't you miss them?
You trying to make me cry, Shepard?
No, I'm just curious.
I've got some unfinished business with my family.
Huh, more people to
That's all.
bury daggers in, huh?
What kind of business?
Before I left, I made an oath to my father's father. I swore to recover my family's battle armor. It was taken from him after the uprising.
Quest?
What's so important about this armor?
It's a relic. Useless, really. But it was worn by 5 generations of my family before the war. It's rightfully mine. Originally, it was taken by the Turian military. We weren't allowed armor or weapons after the war. Now, it's in the hands of Ton Actus, a Turian scum who collects relics from the war. He's made millions selling Krogan artifacts that were stolen from my people. He's got several bases where he stores his goods, all fortified and guarded. I just don't know which base has my family's armor.
I mean, sure. I'll look for
Just
it.
tell me where to start looking.
I'll upload the data to your nav system. But Commander, I want to be there when you find him.
Of course.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So...
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
Yeah, but they're
But
not...
they go to colonize new worlds.
Right.
We're not settlers. We're warriors.
I think we've talked about this
We
before.
want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us
Genophage. I mean, we've
never go
talked
back.
about the genophage before, for sure.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Nice. Yeah, sure. Let's talk to Ashley.
Oh, before I go, you said you're serving with Commander Shepard now? We saw him on the news here. He's cute.
Is he?
Later, sis.
Tell me you didn't hear that.
Well, I did.
Your sister, I assume?
Until I get home and kill her. That's Sarah, the youngest. Surprised to see you here, sir. Thought you'd be chatting up what's-her-name? Tassoni?
Oh, already done with that.
Liara. Why would you think that?
Scuttlebutt says you got a bit of a thing for her.
Wow, that's...
I could understand why. The crew's off limits with the regs against fraternization. And at least she looks like a woman.
You think I'm interested in Liara because she's the only one I'm allowed to date?
So you are interested in her.
I mean,
Of course,
yeah.
it could be politics. Alien diplomat's daughter, us under orders to make nice with the bug-eyed monsters. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on Family Mail.
I keep on liking her less and less.
Chief, should you be that casual with your commanding officer?
Sorry, Commander. Too much in the family mindset.
Right.
My sisters and I have always been close. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
I mean, of course I would like to unlock her side mission, if that's a thing. And I mean, let's be serious here. Let's be realistic. Of course, there's going to be at least one side mission per crew member. But that would involve talking more to her and pretending to be interested. Sure.
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I made Chief. First thing he did was salute.
That's moving.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned...
Sorry, I just don't like her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school. With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
Whoops. Oh, that's literally just returned to the previous menu.
Where did you grow up?
All over. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I
Yep.
guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
After helping raise them, your sisters still talk to you? Amazing.
Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Do I want to hear?
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
I mean, I
Sarah
don't.
got herself a
but-
boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike. I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vid mails, and I'd tell her to relax.
Vidmails? What are those?
Where were you when this was going on?
Oh.
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was assigned to Chernobog. Same cluster, but a dozen LY away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency. I couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
Boys will be boys.
Sounds like that situation didn't last.
Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense.
Huh.
I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
Why didn't you tell the police?
Yeah.
She said it wouldn't solve the real problem, and she and Mike would both become household names. It was a small colony. I said it was her call to make, that we should let her do it her way. Mom was pretty pissed about that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand.
You
I
said
guess.
all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice, but didn't like it. She's kind of nervous. Sarah took Aikido. Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into. They do great things to her figure, though.
Yeah, what about you?
So, what did you
I mean,
learn?
she's a soldier, so.
One of Dad's friends taught me Marine hand to hand.
Okay.
You said all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol. They do great
Okay.
things to her figure, though.
Well, one thing I don't particularly like is that after asking like half a dozen investigative questions, I often tend to forget what the main dialogue options here are referring to. Dedicated of her to help her sister in that situation, I suppose.
Did anything happen while you were home?
My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her. I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk, and there's blood everywhere.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
I didn't
Better. I'm more or
necessarily
less a
need
straight-up
to
puncher.
compliment her.
When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was going to end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying.
Oh,
And she hugged him.
really?
The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
Interesting.
Where was your father during this? Wasn't your family stationed near him?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone.
What?
For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known. Cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
That's supposed to be poetry. Okay. Tennyson. Well, I wouldn't know. Bored now.
Is the rest of your life story this dull?
Not everyone goes through the crap you had to, Commander. Some of us just live ordinary lives. Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though. So behave.
Right. Yeah, 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 sure. Yeah. Wow, I feel like being a real asshole. Yes.
He's not a zombie, is he?
Awesome.
You know, from heaven, wherever that is.
Oh, that place.
That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
I do too, of course.
You start preaching in the CIC, we'll have a problem.
Exactly.
Commander, I'm not some kind of zealot. I believe in God. What everyone else believes is their business.
Good.
I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
How we doing?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I buy
okay,
Dr.
that's that
Tassoni's
again.
story
Yeah.
about her and her mom not talking.
I believe her.
I think she's being straight.
Yeah, she's...
Right.
Want me to ask her about her
Wait.
sex life? Might be illuminating.
Well, I did that already, so.
Is that the best way to spend your time, Chief?
I read you, Commander. I'll behave. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's
Right.
impressive.
We'll talk later, Williams.
Well, too bad
Looking
we didn't
forward to it,
actually
Skipper.
gain anything from this whole thing.
Commander, good to see you.
You've been with CSEC a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
I'll bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
What happened? Why were you investigating them?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
I can't help but look at Garrus's face and feel like his facial textures are just not as high res as everything else. As high res as they should be. That somewhat irritating to me. Black market organs. Right. I mean, I hope it's not common.
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one L-Corps diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs.
Nice.
Had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut. Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
So how did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Salion, the geneticist. So I went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Solarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
Krogan testicles, huh? Is there a market for that?
You're kidding, right? Why would anyone want Krogan testicles?
Some Krogan believe that testicle transplants can increase their virility,
I see.
counteract the effects of the genophage.
Eh.
It doesn't work, but that doesn't stop them from buying. They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set.
Okay.
Somebody's making a killing out there.
So yeah, what about that whole deal?
What did you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
You mean threatening? Was that really necessary?
Hey, I didn't mean to.
Maybe, maybe not. Either way,
criticize.
it paid off. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview. We offered to patch him up and he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh.
Huh?
That was our big break. These people weren't just Dr. Salion's employees. They were test tubes. Walking, living test tubes.
Okay.
He was growing parts inside these people?
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off.
That's...
Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
That is really sick.
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
Oh, come on.
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
Please tell me we can go after him.
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but CSEC headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. He just used them to make more organs, but they wouldn't listen.
I mean, I guess there were valid security concerns.
Well, you can't get them all.
Nah.
No, but letting him get away like that. All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
Yeah.
A few casualties is a small price to pay to stop someone like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those hostages might be wishing they died by now anyway.
Yeah, the
Just wish I
hostages
could've
for sure.
stopped him. That's all.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Salion?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart, his idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go. If it's Salion, I want to be there when you find him.
Of course. There's absolutely no question about that. Alright. Now I really wonder if Ashley did have a quest, but then Caden didn't seem to have one. Maybe that's gonna come later. Hey, Tali.
Shepard,
I don't see
I'm
you
glad
very
you're
often.
here.
Okay, what? Glad you're feeling better, I guess.
Good to see you smiling again.
Do I see her smiling, though? So to speak, yeah.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Theron's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
Huh. Yeah, like
What are you hoping to find?
Usually, people bring back something like a derelict ship we can use for salvage. But I need something bigger. There's a lot expected of
Bigger
me.
than a ship.
What's so special about you?
It's my father. He's the senior member of the Admiralty Board. He's one of only 5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet. My father is responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
Wow. That? You're royalty, yes. I mean, I guess so to speak. What the hell? Okay, there was a lot of slowdown just now. I don't know what caused that. That is a lot of pressure.
So are you some kind of heir to the Quarian throne or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. My
Yeah.
father's position isn't hereditary.
I mean,
I'll probably
we knew
never
that.
serve on the Admiralty Board myself. Officially, I'm just the same as any other citizen. But it doesn't work that way in practice. People have always treated me differently because of who my father is.
Preferential? I mean, probably not. Doesn't really sound like
You
that.
must get all kinds of special privileges.
I probably had it easier than most growing up. But it's not all good. People like my father have enemies, and they're not above using me to get to him.
Right.
It must be tough on you.
My people place a high value on family and ancestry, There's an unspoken expectation that I'll live up to my father's example. Everyone's waiting for me to do something great on my pilgrimage, something that will forever change our lives for the better. If I don't, it's like I failed, and that reflects badly on both me and my father.
Yeah, what if we save the galaxy?
The work you're doing here is more important than anything any Quarian has ever done before.
Yes, I know. But you have to understand Quarian culture. We're a very insular society. The events beyond the flotilla don't much matter to the average citizen. Our greatest dream is that one day we'll return to our homeworld and drive out the Geth. But even if we stop Saren, that's not going to happen. There's still millions of Geth behind the veil. Until they're gone, our exile will continue.
What would you need to bring back to make everyone happy?
Like a big ship?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into now are under Saren's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way of our mission, Shepard. First, we stop Saren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
I mean, what exactly would we...
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. There are 17.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms
Okay,
and civil
we have
liberties.
definitely talked
I want
about
to talk
her,
about something else.
Like what?
her people before. Geth, the pilgrimage. We haven't talked about her father, I'm sure. More about the Geth,
I
maybe?
want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
I think we've talked about that before as well.
I want to talk
Like
about
what?
something.
Feel free to tell me in the comments if I'm mistaken, and I'll come back and talk to her about it some more. Let's talk about her father, though.
What was your father like?
It wasn't easy growing up as the daughter of one of the Admiralty. Even before he joined the board, he was a prominent figure. People looked to him for leadership. He had to set an example, and he expected the same of his daughter. Plus, he was pretty strict, a military man through and through. He never allowed me to settle for anything less than excellence. As a kid, I sometimes felt like he was pushing me too hard. But now, I'm old enough to appreciate what he taught me. The world doesn't owe us anything. If we want something in life, we have to earn it.
Yeah, what about her mother?
Where was your mother in all this?
Mother was around, but she always seemed to kind of blend into the background. Almost like she was overshadowed by my father. He tends to do that to people. She passed on about 5 years ago. Some airborne virus that swept through the fleet. Happens sometimes when the filters start to break down. I think my father took it pretty hard. After she was gone, he became even more focused on his work. I think that was his way of dealing with the grief.
Sounds like a tough upbringing. You don't resent your father at all?
Like I said, it wasn't easy. My father's not the kind of person you bond with. And he wasn't around all that much. Too busy. People counted on him, and he took his duties seriously. Even when he was around, he always seemed a bit distant. Like his mind was always somewhere else. Come to think of it, I can't ever remember seeing him smile. Not once. It's like he was always weighed down by all that responsibility. I mean, I know he cares about me, but he never really showed it, not in the usual way. I guess the best thing I can say about my father is that I respect him.
Well, I mean, that's something.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Actually, I mean, I wish I could,
I
but
should go.
See you later.
seems like... Oh, we got another entry there. Seems like, unfortunately, we did not get a quest from her. At least, not right away. I wonder... I mean, she did say that we should take, or hunt down Saren first. Stop Saren first, before we worry about her concerns. And that makes me wonder if stopping Saren is not actually the end of the game. There might be more to it. I have no idea. Right, we did get Rex's and Garrus's missions, so that's something. Turian stole Rex's family armor, hiding at a base somewhere in the Argus Row cluster. Right. Encounter with Dr. Salian, the geneticist. He regrets letting him escape the first time and hopes that you'll be able to track him down and bring him to justice. Assuming that he is correct. I mean, I hope Garrus is correct about this Dr. Hart's identity. Garrus gave the coordinates of Dr. Salian's last known whereabouts. Head to the Herschel system in the Kepler Verge. Okay. Don't think I've been there before. What do we have? Council races... Turian's biology. The Turian homeworld, Palaban, has a metal-poor core, generating a weak magnetic field and allowing more solar radiation into the atmosphere. To deal with this, most forms of life on Palaban evolved some form of metallic exoskeleton to protect themselves. Their reflective plate-like skin makes Turians less susceptible to long-term, low-level radiation exposure, but they do not possess any sort of natural armor. A Turian's thick skin does not stop projectiles and direct energy bolts. I mean, I guess the evolution didn't evolve those plates to protect from energy or projectile attacks, but if anything from, you know, blows and biting teeth. And I would assume that thick skin protects against that kind of attack, at least to some degree. Anyway, although life on Palaban is carbon-based and oxygen-breathing, it is built on dextro amino acids. This places the Turians in a distinct minority on the galactic stage. The Quarians are the only other known sapient dextroprotein race. The food of humans, Asari, or Solarians, who evolved in levo amino acid-based biospheres, will at best pass through Turian systems without providing any nutrition. At worst, it will trigger an allergic reaction that can be fatal if not immediately treated. Well, that's unfortunate. Impractical. Non-council races, Krogan culture. The harsh Krogan homeworld conditioned the Krogan psychology for toughness just as it did the body. Krogan have always had a tendency to be selfish, unsympathetic, and blunt. So, our friend Rex is a perfect example for a Krogan then. I guess he's friendlier and more open-minded than most. They respect strength and self-reliance, and are neither surprised nor offended by treachery. The weak and selfless do not live long. In their culture, looking out for number one is simply a matter of course. After their defeat in the rebellions, the very concept of Krogan leadership was discredited. Where a warlord could once command enough power to bring entire solar systems to heel and become overlord, these days it is rare for a single leader to have more than 1,000 warriors swear allegiance to him. Most Krogans trust and serve no one but themselves. This solitary attitude stems in part from a deep sense of fatalism and futility, a profound social effect of the genophage that caused Krogan numbers to dwindle to a relative handful. Not only are they angry that the entire galaxy seems out to get them, the Krogan are also generally pessimistic about their race's chances of survival. The surviving Krogan see no point to building for the future. There will be no future. The Krogan live with an attitude of kill, pillage, and be selfish, for tomorrow we die. That's really unfortunate, though. I mean, someone should be at least trying to find a means to stop the genophage, to reverse it. But as Rex said, they are warriors, not scientists. Although the Conclave, Quarian's law and defense. Although the Conclave established civil law much as any planet-based democracy, enforcement and trials are more unique. After the flight from the Geth, there were few constables to police the millions of civilians aboard the fleet, so the Navy parceled out Marine squads to maintain order and enforce the law. Today, Quarian Marines have evolved training and tactics akin to civilian police, but remain adept at combat in the confined spaces of a starship, and fully under the command of the military. Once taken into custody, the accused is brought before the ship's captain for judgment. While the ship's council may make recommendations, tradition holds that the captain has absolute authority in matters of discipline. Most are lenient, assigning additional or more odious maintenance tasks aboard the ship. Persistent recidivists, I don't know how to pronounce that, although I can guess at its meaning, are accidentally left on the next habitable world. This practice of abandoning criminals on other people's planets is a point of friction between the Quarians and the systems they pass through. Captains rarely have another choice. With space and resources at a premium, supporting a non-productive prison population is not an option. In the early years, many Quarian freighters were armed and used as irregular privateers. Civilian ships still show a strong preference for armament, making them unpopular targets for pirates. Though they have rebuilt their military, there are still mere hundreds of warships to protect tens of thousands of ships. The Quarian Navy follows strict routines of patrol and takes no chances. If the intent of an approaching ship can't be ascertained, they shoot to kill. Quarian religion. The ancient Quarians practiced ancestor worship. Even after abandoning faith for secularism, Quarians continued to revere the wisdom of elders. As time passed and technology advanced, they inevitably turned their knowledge to preserving the personalities and memories of the elderly as computer virtual intelligences. These recordings became a repository of knowledge and wisdom, stored in a central data bank and available through any extranet connection. They held no illusions that this was a form of immortality. Like all virtual intelligences, their electronically preserved ancestors were not truly sapient. This was considered a surmountable problem. Sapiens could surely be reduced to simple mathematics. The Quarians began exhaustive research into creating artificial intelligence so they could learn to escape the bounds of mortality and give their ancestral records true awareness. Unfortunately, the life the Quarians created did not accept the same truths they did. The Geth destroyed the ancestor databanks when they took over. In the centuries since they evacuated their homeworld, most Quarians have returned to religion in various forms. Many believe that the rise of the Geth and the destruction of their ancestors were chastisement for arrogantly forsaking the old ways and venerating self-made idols. Others have a more philosophical outlook, believing that their race was indeed arrogant, but no supernatural agency lay behind the Geth revolt. Rather, the Quarians' actions wrought their own doom. Either way, every Quarian would agree that their own hubris cost them their homeworld. Okay, seems like that's all. Well then. That took significantly longer than I expected. Actually, just talking to people filled an entire episode. I was actually just going to go down here and take a look at equipment and actually talk to the quartermaster here, or yeah, the requisition officer. And I'm going to do that off camera. Just going to end the episode here. Next time we're going to tackle one of the quests. I guess still the one with the crime lord, as I had already decided earlier. So yeah, for the time being, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and I shall see you real soon. Bye bye.